Hello and welcome to Other People's Money on RVN TV. I'm your host, Doug Bloom. Thank you for joining us today. On Other People's Money, our guests share their insights from the world of wealth creation, including investment, finance, entrepreneurship, and philanthropy. Before we start, please let me remind you, Other People's Money is for entertainment and informational purposes only. Please consult with your advisors prior to taking any actions based on our show. That said, our guest today is Albert Whale, who's the founder and CEO of IT Security Solutions in Pittsburgh, PA. Albert founded ITSS when, based on his experience in providing cybersecurity services to corporate America as a third party, Albert realized what was needed for protection from increasingly common hacks and attacks from outside agents far exceeds the skill set of most IT managers. IT Security Solutions' flagship product, the It's Safe Security Appliance, identifies and prevents hacks which elude typical spyware and malware programs. The types of threats which It's Safe targets often include those from foreign actors targeting business contacts, intellectual property, and participating in financial theft. Albert has more than 24,000 followers on LinkedIn with respect to his activities in writing about cybersecurity. Albert has an electrical engineering degree from PSU and graduate level courses and certifications in business, finance, management, and IT. Albert, I want to thank you for joining the show today.
It's my pleasure, Doug. Thank you.
So, electrical engineering into cybersecurity, how did that occur?
Well, it starts off with building the internet and then finding out that there's bad actors out there called hackers, and then wanting to protect the data for our national critical infrastructure, which I was tagged for helping the FBI right after 9/11. Teaching cybersecurity to the national critical infrastructure was germane to me starting the consulting roles that I've had in the past, but implementing the security efforts for the VA, for the Air Force, for major global banking facilities, and so forth, makes it more paramount and essential for smaller businesses as well, since the big businesses are trying to do the right things and succeeding at some level.
So what, in your view, are the major tenets that if a business owner, let's say a small business owner, 20 employees, something like that, who's got business services, so they have a lot of computers flying around, what are the key areas of risk that owning such a business, operating such a business, having information split between servers, data files, and the cloud? Where do the risks occur?
Those are huge risks because most of the activities that are happening get by the firewalls and the virus scanners because the hackers have the same tools, so they know how to evade detection. And most smaller businesses are allowing their employees to go out on the internet, buy off of Amazon, look on YouTube, go to Facebook, do other activities that include searching on Google and various other internet-based activities. And those connections permit back connections to the computers that these employees are using by virtue of going out. Since you have the ability to go out of your network, you're also allowing traffic to come back into your network and on your computer. Now, the real problem is virus scanners can only see what they know about. And they're not always running 100% of the time on every file that you download. And the hackers know this. So embedded in their images or embedded in domain abuse connections for these websites, they include links to go to malicious sites that your computer says, hey, I need to download this code so that my user can see the website the way they really want it to see. I need to enrich their lives with the information from this other domain because I'm here and they want to see it.
So how does that functionally work, Albert? Is it a background process embedded in the code? Is it something the user has to click on? Or can it just come through?
It's part of the built-in effects of a web browser. So web browsers were designed to share help documents, but they were designed to share those help documents inside a firewall, in the intranet, never meant to go outside to a different security realm called the internet. And because of that, there are issues with connecting to other people's machines, just like other people's money run those machines, and allow these malicious activities to occur. So hackers are constantly evolving, using different images that they're sharing as marketing tools, standing up websites that look alike, sending phishing emails that make you connect to a different site that you think you're actually going to go to, injecting rules into DNS, all types of activities, which most businesses can't see because they're not cybersecurity experts. It's kind of like saying everybody has COVID until they get tested, or nobody has COVID until we see what the test results are. You can't tell that you have this problem until you get a review. And most of the tools that cyber professionals are using only look at activities that are known, and therefore they're missing half of the problem.
All right, so I sit and I have McAfee running or one of the other ones, Norton, whatever they might be. I have that running on my computer, and I have it running on computers at work. There's 20 of us, and we all have it running. We have some hosted solution, maybe possibly running on the server. How does a hacker go around that? You're telling me that they come up with new ways of hacking that McAfee hasn't upgraded to yet? Is it an innovation game? Is it just a lack of attention game?
Well, it's several things, and you bring up a good point. An innovation game is one thing. So if the virus scanner cannot identify the malware, it's not going to be effective. So hackers are traditionally developing new routes to get inside the computers through the networks that you're connecting to. The activity or visualization. McAfee doesn't run 100% of the time to look at every file before it gets downloaded. So that activity also has a problem. But if you're not aware of the threat because it's not known already, then it's an invisible threat, or what they call a zero-day exploit. A lot of zero-day exploits have been utilized in our networks before we've ever taken a look at what's inside the network. And additionally, we're buying products based in a red country or built in a red country that starts with the letter C and ends with the letter A. And I'll leave your visitors to visualize that. They can look on the back of their phone. It's not Canada, it's not Colombia, and it's not Croatia. But they come built with internal vulnerabilities that we cannot see because as cybersecurity professionals, we have the tools to look at them, and the average typical user or business owner hasn't really become aware of them yet.
So do we have the first slide? Okay, so the first slide is kind of getting to where you're talking, Albert. We're talking about in the vernacular that most people only see the tip of the iceberg. Is that a fair statement?
That is a fair assessment. So the firewall and virus scanner are looking at activities that can be visually looked at an iceberg, which is about 10% of the iceberg itself. What ItSafe does is we take a look at the entire organization, the network, the activities going in and out, because communication is a two-way street. If you download malware, the first thing the malware is going to do is phone home to say, give me an update. I've done a scan on the network, and here's what I found. So you don't want that activity going back out on the internet because now they have a backdoor inside your environment. And that activity that was done, say, 6 months ago before you knew about new exploits, and new exploits are coming up every day. So if they succeeded in the past, then they have an active connection that already exists inside the network. That's not being seen because they're not trying to exploit the network anymore. They're already inside. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, but let me see if I can repeat it back. What I'm hearing you say is that putting in a solution which isn't self-reflective, which doesn't look at itself and say, what do I know, what don't I know, that assumes that it's being launched in a safe environment, will expose you to the risk of already being corrupted and being treated as if it's not corrupted. So therefore, there's an open gateway which never got closed.
Right. That's pretty good analogy of what I said. The tools that we're using look for the next exploit. They're looking at today and tomorrow. They have no introspective as to what happened yesterday. or last week, or last month, or last year, or when the device was manufactured.
All right, so how does somebody get their system clean, their environment clean? We haven't even talked about topology yet, but if you have a served network on your premises, what's the process to go and say, we're going to bless this house? I don't want to pull up, Amityville Horror or whatever, when this house is clean.
Fortunately, our device depicts graphically with ItSafe the number of connections that are active when we get inside the network. Most houses that I know are not doing business with China, but that's yet the #1 location that comes up inside a network, whether it's a home or a business. It's China, it's Russia, it's Brazil. And these activities are going on sight unseen because they may have been built into the connections, they may have been built into the hardware that you're using. I mean, every day I see notifications. Tenga hardware has been identified as having connections to China, and a wireless access point that we discovered in Baltimore had connections to both China and Amazon Cloud Services, which activated as soon as it was plugged in. So the issue becomes
explain that, please.
Visibility.
If I can interrupt, explain that, please. You said a wireless access point. Just for people watching, what's a wireless access point?
Well, a wireless access point provides Wi-Fi for like a phone or your laptop or something, so that you don't have to have a cable Ethernet to get to the internet. It provides Wi-Fi.
How many independent users are accessing that point?
Well, different Wi-Fi points have different capacity. Some are five devices. If I could talk, it would help. Some of them are 150, some are 500.
Okay, so what you found is what you're saying in Baltimore is you found a wireless access point that had connections both to two other outside entities that it did not subscribe to, so to speak.
Right, they were connected to Baidu.com, which they didn't ask to be connected to. Baidu.com was one of the owners of the manufacturers of the device itself, which also had connections to people inside of mainland China and the APT, Chinese Blue Army.
Always good friends to have.
Inside your house, right?
Exactly. So we've been talking about a lot of different pieces of this. This isn't just mail, right? It could come through your email, right? But it's not just mail. It could be, as you said, from physical devices, and it could be coming from different sites that you hit. If those sites are corrupted, potentially you could pass along little snippets of code which then get downloaded or cause other things to be downloaded on your system. That's what I'm hearing you say.
That is exactly what I'm saying. And, the problem is you're not going to identify these or know about them until you use a tool that actually monitors all connections, all traffic, to visually see what's going on, where's it going to, and what are they finding. Just last week, VPN software that said they don't log any of your information was identified as releasing 150 million users' log file information for using their VPN.
We're going to get into that on the other side of a break. We're coming up on a break. We're talking with Albert Whale, founder and president of
IT
Security Solutions. I couldn't come up with the first. IT Security Solutions out of Pittsburgh, PA. Albert, people want to get a hold of you. How do they reach you?
So I'm available on LinkedIn. You can look up my profile under Albert Whale. I'm available at our website, it-security-solutions.com. My email address is albert.whale@it-security-solutions.com. And if you need to have my phone number, well, I'll leave it with you so that people can request it.
Okay, so everybody go pull the plug out of the wall. Be careful what you're downloading. We're going to be back in just a minute. Albert, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Thanks. My
My name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There you go, Richard. Oh, is that too hard for you?
No. Is it too hard for you?
Woo, we're playing catch now. Oh, shit.
What do I want to be when I grow up? Maybe a musician? A veterinarian? Maybe an equestrian? A mommy? Well, why not be all these things and more? Consider joining me, Dr. V, with friends and colleagues as we explore a wide range of topics together. V is for variety, here on RVN TV.
Number 7. Number 8.
9 regular. Oh, wait, 13 giant. The usual?
Of course. Number 1.
Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hello, welcome back to Other People's Money on RVN TV. I'm your host, Doug Bloom. We're talking today with Albert Whale, President and founder, CEO and founder of IT Security Solutions in Pittsburgh, PA. We've been talking about cybersecurity. We've been talking about the fact that most owners of technology don't realize just where and how many hacks, attempts at least, if not actual accesses, are coming through to their systems at home and at work. We were talking a little bit about where they come from mail, from installed devices, from contacts that you might have outside your network, outside the firewall or the protection your network has. As business owners, we all have to be concerned about how we actually bring outside agents into our network, which could compromise not only our business information, but actually the functioning of our machines, whether it be ransomware or whatever. So Albert, we were talking about IT Security Solutions, its safe product line, application server, I believe you call it. But how does it differentiate itself in that it can identify access to your network or to a client's network in ways that other softwares which run on the networks don't do today? I'm assuming it's a physical device which sits on the network and monitors everything. Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. It is a physical device that sits inside the network. We sit right behind the firewall, and we monitor all traffic going in the network and coming back out to the internet. So by identifying the connection and where it's intended to go, we can then tell where it came from. Is it somebody that we want to talk to? Or is it a malicious connection because it's a known bad actor out on the internet? As well as what's inside the packets. So we can look and see the information that's coming to us. Maybe it's a plain text message, which is fine, or an email message. Maybe it's an insecure connection to a website, which is fine. But maybe it's malicious code that is trying to distribute itself inside the network to other devices in the network, and we can shut that down as well. So a lot of the activity that we want to stop is before the client computer. And virus scanners wait until it's already on the computer to tell that there's a problem. So we're stopping it before the connection reaches the target, and prevents it from getting back out to the source as well.
So if I take a physical metaphor, you guys are the security guard at the front door, and not allowing the malicious
That's
actor
a very
to get
good metaphor, yes.
So, what issues of privacy do you have if you're watching everything that comes in the door?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What issues of privacy do you have to deal with if you're watching everything that comes in the front door? As a business owner, it's got employees with information coming in. How do you guys help them maintain privacy issues?
We typically manage the devices for our clients to help them identify malicious activity and filter it out of their network so that they don't see it. Most of our connections are free running and self-identifying the problems that are going on. When we come out for a simple demo, we do a 1-hour connection, and we usually end up with 20 to 100 different activities, which were never intended to be inside the network in the first place. And so that's a really good selling point on why is this necessary and what do we find?
So 100 in an hour. That's what,
right.
That's 2,400 a day. That's 15, 16,000 a week. Is that right?
And some of them are much more often than that. And there are even events that only happen one time a day at 2 o'clock in the morning. So are your network engineers up at 2 o'clock in the morning to see this one bad packet come through? Probably not.
And you're saying especially if it's already knows how to get around the softwares which are running on the individual workstations or the individual servers, no one's going to find it. And that leads me to another question. We're filming this, and COVID's a reality at the time that we're filming this. COVID has forced a lot of people out of the office, and you now have people working remotely off their home computers and tying into corporate networks, pulling data down, signing up for things, doing commerce over the internet. What's changed? How has COVID exacerbated this problem?
Well, COVID has enhanced the attacker's ability to get inside your environment. And they're doing that because they're attacking the employees of the company, which they were attacking when they were inside the business. But security was much better inside the business because there was a security perimeter. But now the security perimeter is gone. There's no security controls inside their employee's house. They have devices that are smart TVs or Ring doorbells or, Nest thermostats, which all have their own inherent security problems. And they have a Wi-Fi access point inside their house that anybody can get to. And it's very easy to say, well, I have a passcode for it and it's locked down. But script kiddies or people that are novice hackers can find the tools on the internet to get inside your wireless router in about 10 minutes. So the exploit of everybody working from home getting back into the office then exponentially increases the security threats for the business. Not only that, but people that have, senior level management experience with the company, they're large targets and they're much easier to be compromised at home than they were at the office.
And what you're saying is that the compromise has been expanded, or the opportunity to be compromised has been expanded because of the amount of time spent working from home, talking to the corporate network versus working within the corporate network, talking to the corporate network. Is that correct?
Yes, because the target has shifted from the business directly to the employees at home. And when the employees from home then connect back to the business, they're dragging all the malware and Trojans back through the VPN or past the firewall right into the office. And there's nothing there to protect the business then that stops this from happening. That's why we built ItSafe to sit inside the network. And now we're extending our capability to sit inside the employee's home as well.
So ItSafe actually works. What can a person do who doesn't have access to an ItSafe? What options do they have? And then we'll talk a little bit about ItSafe.
Probably the best thing to do is not use wireless access points from unknown people, and set up private networks for their IoT devices, their smart technology, the doorbell, the smart TV, things of that nature. Don't give your password or access out to other people in your house or guests. Give them a guest network instead. And organize it. Have a security professional help you do this.
So what I heard you say is you have one network that you go out on for the outside world, and you have another network that you use to power your devices around the house. Another wireless network which actually does not go outside. Is that correct?
Yeah, it could be a wireless network, or it could be a physical or virtual network. You know, the IoT devices could be wired devices. Some of the smart TVs have Ethernet cables that connect to your network. The Nest thermostats might have a wireless access that grants, you know, connections to people that want to connect to it, and they don't have security controls for the connectivity themselves. They'll let people that know about it gain access to it, and then they're inside your network.
Yeah, especially if kids come over and they're asking for your access password, and things get awfully crazy pretty quickly.
You know, these devices don't have firewalls or virus scanners on it, so it's real easy to compromise. And if somebody brings one into your house, how do you know what they brought into your house? Because you're not really looking at it, right?
You just take the temperature, don't you?
Oh, take your temperature, like COVID, like the coronavirus. Let's all get tested.
So It's Safe is a corporate intended product. What size companies could take advantage of? What size company does not having something like It's Safe really start to become compromising?
The potential is for all businesses that have technology in them to become compromised. You know, the bad actors are going to sit and wait inside your network until they see an activity that excites them, and then they'll take your data and they'll bring down your business, because now they have your data. They can either sell it on the dark web, or they can stand up a similar business in a different country without all of the intellectual property and expenses that you had to incur to create your business. And that makes it so that you have new competition that can underprice you, and everybody's buying from them now instead of you. So the benefits of having a security device that actually blocks activity from occurring is significant. And it's really, you know, how much money is your business worth to you? Do you want it to be there? We're protecting the data that organizations hold near and dear to them, because without that data, they're not in business. When somebody else takes it, they go out of business. They could be fines or selling the personal data, or the latest activity is now, instead of selling passwords, they're selling access directly into the business. Because of what they've been able to do with the work from home pandemic formula, they're compromising businesses, and they have access internally to businesses, and they're selling physical access directly inside businesses.
So they're basically selling access in a form that somebody can actually literally log into the business server. Is that what I'm hearing?
They can become your administrator that you don't know about, that takes away everything.
Can copy anything, can change things, can do whatever they need to do.
Right, and that's one of the threats for ransomware too. So the big key here is people will pay the ransom and unlock their files, right? But organizations that get hit with ransomware haven't fixed the original security problem. So what's the likelihood that they're going to get hit with ransomware again?
Or as you said, not hit with ransomware, but exploited in other ways.
Exactly.
How do people get involved with using It's Safe? What sort of introduction, what sort of analysis do you do as when you start working with a client, or at least profiling a client?
Well, you know, we have a process where we go through a free demo on the web to connect with them and show them what we're doing and how we do it, and what kinds of activities that we're blocking so that they're better protected. After that demo, if need be, we can come on site with our demo appliance and actually show them physically what's inside their network. Typically, those are assessments that we charge for. But probably through the end of July, we're doing this as a free service to new clients.
Good.
We manage the solution, we protect the security, and we give you the reports that show how effective it is.
So if people want to get involved, they just need to get a hold of you at IT Security Solutions, correct?
Yeah, there's a button on the webpage for scheduling a consult. They can ask for a meeting, a demo, and we'll get right back to them. Or they can call us. My number is 412-889-6870. That's 412-889-6870. I'll make sure that we have the resources plugged in to help them secure their environment as quickly as possible.
So we've been talking with Albert Whale, President and CEO, or founder and CEO of IT Security Solutions, with a product called It's Safe, which is a device which sits on your network and is the security guard, making sure that there's no outward communication pathways that you haven't authorized and you don't want. The changes is even more needed today because of what's happened with COVID and the way COVID is spread out. A lot of workers, and there's a lot of communication pathways that are being used, many of which your IT manager either is not prepared to deal with or doesn't even know about. Albert, really great having you on the show today. I can't let you go without asking you our 6 questions on the show. Are you ready?
Oh, okay, great.
Are you ready to? Are you ready? First thing that comes to mind. You ready?
Yep.
Here we go. When you were a kid, what was your dream profession?
To be an engineer.
Congratulations. What is a bucket list? COVID aside, what's a bucket list destination for you?
My bucket list destination is either Costa Rica or back to Aruba. I've only been there 45 times.
Okay. Which of the following questions is the most interesting to you? How, who, when, or what?
How?
How. What motivates you more, loving to win or hating to lose?
Oh, loving to win.
Besides your own, what is a company you find intriguing?
Besides my own, what?
What is a company you find intriguing?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have a direct answer for that right now.
Okay. And then finally, what's your most endearing quality?
My compassion to help other people.
Excellent. We've been talking with Albert Whale of IT Security Solutions today. You've been watching Other People's Money on RVN TV. Albert, thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much.